Hi friends and companions along this path of spiritual practice. It was late 4th or early 5th century in China when the Indian Buddhist monk Bodhidharma brought Buddhism to China, where it became Chan and Zen Buddhism. There is a famous record of a meeting between the monk Bodhidharma and Emperor Wu of that time. Emperor Wu said to Bodhidharma, "I have built many temples to Buddhism. I have given much financial support to the monastic communities. What is the merit for me?" And Bodhidharma said to Emperor Wu, "No merit whatsoever." Perplexed and surprised, Emperor Wu then asked, "Then what is the purpose of my having done all of that? Isn't that the purpose of Buddhism?" To which Bodhidharma answered, "Empty, nothing holy." Emperor Wu, agitated and slightly angered, "Who is this that is saying all this nonsense to me?" And Bodhidharma's response, "I don't know," and walked away, while Emperor Wu stood there upset and perplexed. What is the merit? What is the gain? What is the profit to sitting meditation, to our practice? You know, there's been such a commodification of everything. It began perhaps with the commodification of natural resources, which enters into our market. Not only our natural resources, but human labor. And then from human labor to the commodification of information swirling everywhere about us. The cost, the payment for the information that we want. And then ultimately, not only natural resources and human labor and information, but many social scientists who will say the commodification of our attention itself. A multi-million-dollar industry for that 12, 15-second commercial during the Super Bowl games is about the commodification of our attention. We have lived in an economy of exchange, and so Trungpa Rinpoche warned us about spiritual materialism, that we begin our spiritual practice with no different a mindset, no different an expectation. What do I get out of this? For many of you who have been practicing meditation for these many months, we have begun to listen to the voice of the ego sitting in the back seat. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And all the while, we miss the Grand Tetons. We miss Yellowstone. We miss the beautiful skyline. Are we there yet? What is the merit? I remember here are human relationships, and at a certain point, we are socialized, we are taught to look for converting these relationships into reputation. And then taking the reputation that we have, our social capital, and putting it down on a resume. And then the resume that we forward on so that we can strive for ranking and rewards. And ranking and rewards that somehow make us self-sufficient, and we think that we can hold on to ranking and rewards with no reference from the relationships where it all began. These relationships that are the source of everything else that come from that. So as we sit in our meditation, are we there yet? Are we awakened? Are we enlightened? Comes the voice from the back seat. And so in Buddhism, there is another duality called means and end. And like all dichotomies, they often are in opposition with one another. We meditate with this expectation that somehow, by doing X, Y, Z, we will arrive at enlightenment. That expectation itself, of course, undermines the very practice. Trungpa Rinpoche spoke and warned us about spiritual materialism. This Buddhism and Zazen of gaining, because we are so lacking. And by doing all this, then one day we will have everything. A spiritual meritocracy, if you will. But what if we could take our seat here and now, in the relationship with this moment, as we are, with the world as it is? What if we could really trust that everything that we need, everything that we might become, everything that should and ought be done, it begins here. Being attentive, being intimately present with just this. Philosophers have pointed out this leap from what is to what ought to be. And that distinction is an important one. But Bodhidharma and Buddhism offers a radical teaching that if we can stay intimately with what is already contains within it the seeds of whatever might be or should be. How can we love and embrace just this as it is? Not because we agree with everything, but because it is the only reality. And how can we expand that reality of what is to make our way? And so, friends, nothing holy, nothing sacred, nothing to achieve or gain other than being with what is here, now. And so we continue with our practice.